Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time coming across my YouTube channel, my name is Nancy. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make a sleeveless A-line dress, and it can also be worn as a camisole. And if you are interested in learning how I made the circle net dress, I'll be dropping the link in the description box. So let's get started. The name of the fabric I used is called an Ankara print fabric, and I made use of 2 yards. I would fold this fabric into 2 equally. So this same cutting and stitching method is also used to make an inner wear for your cord lace dresses, organza dresses, or chiffon dresses. Now I went ahead to fold it into 2 equally again. So I practically folded this fabric into 4. So this simply means that after cutting, I would have both the front piece and the back piece of this dress cut together. The first step is to rule the shoulder line. So because I want to use this A-line dress as a camisole, that is an inner wear, I would make sure that the neck width is wider than the actual dress that will be worn on the inner. So here I'm going to mark a neck width of 5 inches from this fold. Now for the neck depth, I would make sure that the neck depth is lower than the neck depth of the actual dress that will be worn on the camisole. So I also marked 5 inches. So this will be the neck depth for both the front piece and the back piece. I went ahead to connect both points together to form a curved neckline. Our shoulder measurement is 15 inches. I divided it by 2 and I had 7.5 inches. Now I added extra half-inch sewing allowance to that, which made it 8 inches. Then I marked 8 inches on the shoulder line. From this point I marked, I placed my tape below the point to mark 1 inch and connected this new point to the neck width to form the shoulder slope. Now to mark the armhole, I placed my tape from this new point vertically downwards. Around armhole, which is the armhole circumference, divided by 2 is 9 inches. So I marked 9 inches and connected the point to the tip of the shoulder slope. So this is the armhole line. Now from the end of this armhole line, I'll rule a straight line across that point to form the bust line. Now to get the armhole curve, I placed my tape on the armhole line, then folded it into 2 to mark the midpoint. Now I connected the midpoint to the bust line on this side to form a curve, and this is the armhole curve. Now I placed the measuring tape from the shoulder to mark the waistline. Our waistline is 15.5 inches, and then I went ahead to mark the full length of the dress. The full length of the dress is 42 inches, so I added extra 2 inches sewing allowance to the bottom, which made it 44 inches altogether. So basically, when making an inner wear, it is advisable that the inner itself isn't too fitted on the body. So for this reason, I would be adding extra allowances after the actual measurement. On the bust line, I placed a bust circumference divided by 4, and then I added extra 3.5 inches sewing allowance by the side. And on the waistline, I placed a waist circumference divided by 4. And I also added 3.5 inches sewing allowance to the side to connect the waist circumference to the bust circumference. It was at this point I realized that I haven't marked the hip line. So now I placed the tape from the shoulder vertically downwards to mark a hip line, which is 25 inches. On the hip line, I placed a hip circumference divided by 4. And I went ahead to add extra 3.5 inches sewing allowance to the side of the hip circumference to connect it to the waist circumference as shown. Now to get the M line circumference, I placed my tape on the hip circumference with the sewing allowance included, and this is 14.5 inches. I went ahead to place 14.5 inches on the M line, then marked. Now I would add extra 3.5 inches sewing allowance to the sides, and I connected this point to the hip circumference using my straight ruler. So to eliminate the sharp edges that is usually on the side when making A-line dresses, I'm just going to make a little curve which will be half inch above the hemline on this side. Now the next step is to add half inch sewing allowance to the top of the shoulder slope for joining, and then I'll go ahead to trim out the neckline. So the neckline for the front piece and the back piece is actually equal. Now after I've done that, I'll go ahead to trim out this armhole circumference. So I'm going to take out this little piece on the side. Alright, so we have both the front piece and the back piece. I'll go ahead to spread it out. I'll take this to my sewing machine to stitch the shoulders together by half inch. After the shoulders has been secured, this is how it should be, and also take note that this is the right side of the fabric. The next step is to use a bias tape to properly secure the neck circumference all through. After I've secured the neck circumference, the next step is to also use a bias tape to secure the round armhole on this side, and to also use the bias tape to secure the round armhole on this other side as well. So the neckline has been properly secured, and the armhole on this side is secured as well. Alright, so now I would make sure that both the right side of the front piece and the back piece is facing each other. The next step is to take this dress to the sewing machine to stitch the sides by 1 inch, following the direction of the choke, and to stitch the other side by 1 inch, following the direction of the choke. After stitching the sides, I'll go ahead to turn the dress to the right side of the fabric. The final step is to secure the hem of the dress by folding it half inch in and further folding it by half inch all through the hem. Alright guys, so this is the final outcome of the dress, and I hope this tutorial was helpful. You should give it a try. It's very simple. Please, if you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and also put on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new tutorials, so you'll be the first person to be notified when I upload a new tutorial. Thank you very much for watching to the very end, and see you in my next tutorial.